JBL will become a character in TNA. And TNA has a wonderful association with NXT/WWE. So he's still in friendly territory, so to say. And for him to help up the image of TNA Impact, there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Machine by Sportskeeda. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my two fantastic co-hosts. First of all, from WWE, he is a Hall of Famer. He is Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Holla.
Holla. And, of course, our other co-host along with me every week is none other than legendary pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
I'm always hollering. You know that. It's great to be back with my two favorite people here.
Well, thank you. Bill, let me ask you a question. I know you had a chance to watch pay-per-view recently. Your thoughts on the WWE's Bash in Berlin. What did you think about that?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was one of their best pay-per-views. The smart fans out there are going to go, oh, there was some blown spots in the girls' match. Yeah, there was. But you know what? There are people who say that pro wrestling is dead. It's all entertainment now. And, we've said it on the show here. But I got to tell you, there were two matches on that card that could have fit perfectly into a Jim Crockett show, into a Georgia Championship Wrestling show, into a Championship Wrestling from Florida show. I'm talking about Cody's match against Kevin Owens, 40 minutes of professional wrestling. Very little shtick, if any. Yes. And then Gunther, the world champion, the fans in Germany were on his side against Randy Orton, another classic old school pro wrestling match. And I expected that out of Gunther's match because he is that European trained wrestler. It's a different style. But those two matches, to me, they're early candidates for match of the year. They were pro wrestling at its best in 2024.
It's good to see old school still live in professional wrestling. Don't you agree, Teddy?
Exactly, man. And like Bill was speaking about Randy there, God bless him, man. Outstanding job in the ring with Gunther. I'm sure Gunther learned a lot there working with Randy. And, we also got to let the people know, too, Randy Orton, he's not selfish. He's a guy, and he knows how to do business. And Randy Orton certainly did business in Berlin.
Yes, he did. And as a matter of fact, the Bash in the Berlin pay-per-view, Bill, I know you and I spoke about this by text during the pay-per-view.
We were texting while the show was going on, actually.
Yeah, and the one thing that I got from Bash in Berlin is that all the premium live events, this is the way to go. The presentation they gave is a more sports-oriented presentation, even between the matches. And the matches themselves, there was only 5 matches, I believe, on the card, 5 or 6. And there weren't many. So it was a shorter pay-per-view. It's easier to watch, easier to digest, and easier to say, man, that was great. I can't wait to see the next one.
Let's not ignore another match that would have fit into the old school wrestling was CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Their strap match, that was a good old school feel to it too.
And the best match Punk has had in years. His best match, not even during his time in AEW, he never got to show what he could do. But what he did at Bash in Berlin, you're right, with Drew McIntyre, and that strap match was CM Punk all over.
I also want to make one other compliment. Recently on Monday Night Raw, Wade Barrett teamed up with Joe, I don't remember how to pronounce his name, Testori.
I'm not sure either.
A sports broadcaster. But he had a little bit of that flair of Gene Okerlund in him. I loved it.
Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.
All right, JBL has been there and everywhere lately. If you've been popping around social media, you'll see that JBL has been in a lot of places, including now TNA. At TNA Emergence, just after Nick Nemeth, who some of you, if you don't know who Nick Nemeth is, Dolph Ziggler in WWE. After Nick Nemeth's win, JBL came out, surprised everyone by coming out and going to the ring up to Nick Nemeth and whispering something into his ear. Then he turned around and he left. Where are we going with this, Bill?
Well, he did not whisper what the Undertaker whispered in Bray Wyatt's ear. I'm sure.
Well, I hope not.
Right. I think that where we're going for this is that JBL will become a character in TNA. And TNA has a wonderful association with NXT/WWE. So he's still in friendly territory, so to say. And for him to help up the image of TNA, Impact, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I think it can only be positive for him to be in TNA. It's a positive thing.
Teddy, what do you think? I know JBL and you are close.
Well, congratulations to JBL, man. He's still got it. He's still good on the mic, and he's good at his job at what he does. I think that's really a good move for them.
All right.
He also showed up. By the way, he also showed up recently in GCW, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's popped up in some of the independent feds. I have seen him doing that quite a bit, making appearances and stuff that I think I sent Teddy a text, or maybe we talked about it by phone, but we had talked briefly about JBL popping up on social media, and you told me then, you heard that he was making some rounds, but TNA was a surprise, and it was a good surprise, and he laid, by the way, he did lay in a clothesline from hell. I saw on a video just recently at one of these shows that he's appeared on, and he still has it, brother. He can kill a guy quick.
Yeah.